Let's say you're a business owner that is extremely successful and they feel as if they have it all figured out. What's one thing that you would recommend to them to maybe to check themselves a bit, whether it's a tip of advice, something they might not be able to even think or comprehend right now that you learned along your journey, whenever you guys might have thought, hey, we are rich now. But now it's that wealth level we're going after. So what would be that tip that you would give to somebody that's just really killing it?
There's so many little steps that you have to take. One of them is making sure that your ego doesn't get in the way. Bobby always says it, that your ego is not your amigo. Because when you do have a successful business that you think is successful, right? And you've reached, like I said, you've reached a rich level. And now you just think, oh, I don't need to do nothing else. I'm just going to go. And this business is bringing me in enough money for me to go buy, my Gucci shoes, my Rolex or whatever. Money does run out. And if it's not reproducing itself, you need to be reproducing it at, 100x. If it's not, why are you distracting yourself with materialistic things or fun things when your business is still not hardcore where it's bulletproof? And no business is ever bulletproof. I don't care what level you're at, you're not bulletproof. But so every step, like I said, once you climb that ladder, you got the first step. You need to reevaluate your business. You need to sit down and say, where am I at? Where is my goals? Where do I want to be with this business to take it to the next level? Do I want to sell this business one day? If you do, you got to make sure that you understand IBITDAs. You need to make sure that you understand what your kind of business is trading at. Who is your competitors? Who would want to buy you? So these little things, it all is different on the base of business that you have and your end goals. But every step, guys, you have to stop. You got to check yourself. You got to get humble. And you got to say, okay, I need to start from step 1 at this level. Because if you don't, you could crumble. You could be building, how you do the sand castles? And it got built. You got it. It looked beautiful. But boy, one little shake or one little kick, it went, and it comes right back down. So you need to make sure that the foundation of your business at every level, it is solid.
There's a lot of people building their foundation off of sticks. They ain't building it off of the concrete.
Yep. So, it's hard. It's hard to do that check because you're checking yourself. So not many people like to check themselves. But, that's what's made Bobby and myself so successful is that we've been extremely humble. We don't let our egos get involved with anything we do. Sometimes right now, we go to our own buildings and we work at our own buildings sometimes. We go in there and we do, if we don't like something Bobby goes and picks up garbage at the properties. Because he's that OCD. He's like, oh, no. And he spends an hour on the weekends. He goes and travels through all of our buildings and you see him taking a bag and he throws things out. So you have to let go of that ego and be humble. Understand that you're only doing this for your own good.
You remember where you come from.
100%.
Remember the roots, and then, people lose sight of that. They get to that highest part of the climax and that peak, and like you're saying, they let their ego get in the way. I feel like people's communication skills kind of diminish a little bit with how they treat other people when they get to that level. And again, that plays into the ego with them thinking that they're better than it. But the fact that you just said that Bobby goes and picks out trash when he doesn't need to, he could easily be doing business calls or furthering things even moving forward. That's a game changer.
And that was just going to go into, so Bobby and myself, when we had, all these employees, we never called them employees. For them, they were our business partners, because without them, that business couldn't grow. So making sure that your mindset to your partners, which are your employees, are treated well, and that with all the respect that they need in order to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to hold your hand. Let's go. We're going to make this big, even though It's not their business. They don't need to be as passionate or wanting to do their 100% at their job. They don't have to. They're getting paid for it, right? But who cares? If you disrespect a person, they're going to show up to work like this every day.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to sit there and they're going to, at the end of the day, they still have like a pile of things to get done, but they don't care. If they get fired, they get fired. They're going to get unemployment and they don't care. But if you treat your employees as partners and with all the respect that they are deserved, you're going to see how you will be able to go from 0 to 100 so much quicker. So much quicker. So give them respect that they deserve, and you're going to see how you're going to get it back. You know, it's being nice to others always get you a lot more than being that egoist. Oh, I'm the boss, I'm the owner, I'm the one, and I'm the best. And that gets you nowhere. That gets you absolutely nowhere.
That respect, yeah.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I mean, I always say, you know, people just want to be heard in terms of what they have to say. And the fact that somebody can listen to what it is that you're saying, it's like, hey, I respect what you're saying. Even if I got a different perspective, I got a different viewpoint, I'm still going to listen. And I feel as if that's not like active listening is something that's very rare to come across as well, because people think that they already have it figured out in their head and their opinion is how it should be. But the fact that they can simply listen to somebody else is to what you're saying, it's that respect level.
Yes.
And then that performance, especially if we're talking about employees, gosh, talk about just flourishing. You know,
You do it.
harmony.
It's crazy. If you go and interview all of our employees, that we have like about 600, if you'll see the outcome that you get from them, they miss us like crazy, Bobby, because of his craziness that he always would give them. But we gave them respect. We even gave them the opportunity all the time. Give us your suggestion on what you think it's going to take to get your job to be smooth and to make this company, you know, grow.
Yeah.
So we would take in their input. Like we would literally sit down with our employees right there, front and center, and listen to them give us feedback. Because for us, they're doing the work on a daily basis. So what more productive can you get if your own employees are telling you, look, I think that, now it doesn't mean that we took everybody's suggestion and ran with it.
Right.
You know, we would bring it in, we would listen to it, we would put it into our model. If it didn't work, we would tell them, you know what, we tried it, it just doesn't work for our model. We would try modifying it and saying, okay, this works. But they had input. They felt like they were part of the business, you know? And that comes a long way, because that's the only way you could be successful, guys. You can't do anything on your own. I don't care how great you are. Bill Gates did not get to be a billionaire on his own. Warren Buffett didn't get to become a billionaire on his own. He has a slew of staff. If he doesn't treat those people well and those people don't want to work for them, do you really think those businesses would have been able to get to where they're at? Amazon, guys. You have a driver, you have the warehouse guy, you need a team. You cannot do this alone. So always remember that. To be successful in life, you have to treat others with respect and be able to be humble to listen to what they have to say.
That's so true. Sophia, you've touched on so many great points, and the audience and the people that are listening, I hope you implement this into your life, but most importantly, execute on these things as well. Because it's one thing, you know, you can go to the conferences, you can go to the different and listen to podcasts, watch the videos, but at the end of the day, if you don't actually implement it within your life, then it's just another one of those things. You're going to put that book back on the bookshelf and not implement it. So, Sophia, I want to say thank you for just sharing everything that you've shared on today's show, on the podcast. And I guess one last thing before we kind of end things here. For somebody that's listening, they've taken everything in. They're like, hey, I want to execute. I want to go to town on it. What would that last thing be that you could offer to this world before you're leaving this earth, that from an advice and a tip standpoint that you would tell them?
I would say that you need to have some core values in your life. You need to know what your ultimate goal inside you, not nobody else. You know, if you have a partner that you're like myself and Bobby, our core values, we kind of merge them together, but we both have our list and then we just bring them together. But have a core value. Know exactly what you want and what you are willing to put in so that you could be successful and feel accomplished. Because if you just throw out there, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to be a billionaire, I want to be a millionaire, whatever the case may be, but if you don't have executions, like if you don't have that core value to be able to execute, you're going to fail. And then what happens? You're going to feel like a failure when you're really not. It's just that you didn't do it in the right way. So have a list of core values, have a list of your goals, what you want out of life, what's going to make you feel fulfilled. And at that point, you will be able to get there because you'll have a roadmap. And that's what's worked for me, and hopefully it works for you all that are listening.
Sophia, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Nate.